G'day guys! Are you ready to hear a story? I'm super excited to tell you this story because this story was actually requested by Kenton from Canada. Now when he made the request he was 5, but it was a little while ago, so Kenton, if you have since turned 6, happy birthday, and I'm sorry that it took so long for me to write this story for you. Kenton asked us for a story about mining or rock monsters, and after a little bit of debate, I decided to go for an old school fairy tale for you, Kenton. It's a little bit longer than our normal stories, and it gets a little bit scary, but not too scary. So I really hope you like it, and I really enjoyed writing it. So this story, obviously, is written by me, and it's called The Stone Goblins of Norden. I hope you like it. There was once a great mountain, one of the tallest mountains in the world. Not only was the mountain very tall, but it was also very wide and very deep. So tall and so wide was the mountain that it stretched from one kingdom in the north down through 2 others and finished in a 4th kingdom in the south. The kingdoms that surrounded it were Norden, Sur, Est, and Aust. These 4 kingdoms often found it difficult to get along. For example, the people of Norden called the mountain Derberg. Those from Sur called it La Montana. The Estonites called it La Montaga. And the people of Aust called the mountain La Montagne. In the past, there had been great wars fought between them all. For the time being, however, things between the kingdoms were peaceful, and time wandered along quietly. The people went on with their lives. This story is about one of those people, and his name is Willem. Willem lived with his mama and papa right at the base of Derberg in Norden. His papa was a coal miner, and every day he would get up early with the sun, eat a big breakfast, and then climb up the mountain to the mine. Because Derberg was so very tall, and their village was so very close to it, the sun only shone in the sky until just after the middle of the day. After that, the sun would slowly dip below the very top peak of the mountain, and the day would get darker and darker. This meant that the nights were very long and cold. Willem's papa was always careful to be home before the sun was completely behind the mountain, before the shadows took over the country. Everyone who lived close to the mountain knew that they had to be home before it was dark. There was an old legend about the Steinkobold, the stone goblins, creatures who lived in the mountain. They were made of rock and covered in moss, and if they found you on the mountain after dark, well, let's just say you were in for some trouble. Because of the stone goblins, each mine had a sunnenspotter, a man whose job it was to sit outside the mine and watch for the moment the sun touched the very tip of the tallest peak of Derberg. As soon as he saw this happen, he was to blow his horn into the mine, which was the signal for the men to put down their tools and begin their journey down the mountain to their homes. "Willem," his papa said to him one morning before kissing him goodbye and making his way up the mountain, "the king is coming to inspect the mine today. If you come up and sit in the forest by the road just before the morning break, you'll be able to see him and all of his knights ride by." Willem smiled. He loved seeing the king's knights. When he grew up, he wanted to be a knight. His mama told him that he would have to work very hard and be very lucky for that to happen, as the king only took the bravest and kindest of his men to be knights.